What's up, guys? Back at it again today with the Power Player, or the Super Joystick and Power Gun. This is one of the wackiest bootlegs I've ever seen. There's a lot of versions of this thing. I guess we have the 76,000 version here. If you look into the history of it, it's actually really crazy, and at least one person went to prison. Let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is take a quick look around this box. The first thing that stuck out to me was this Star Wars: A Phantom Menace. We got Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan battling Darth Maul down there at the bottom. That can't be licensed. There are also a few other things. We'll spin this around. We take a quick look on the side. It came in 3 options. It's kind of funny because those are also Nintendo 64 controller options. You got the black, the gray, and the blue. The original new edition, it says here on the back. So we'll look at the other side of the box. We have a green gun. Pretty cool. So this thing's modeled off the Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo gun there on the right, and the Nintendo 64 in the middle, I guess. Let's look at the back of the box. Okay, so we're advertising a few games here that I know to be licensed products of other companies, but that is the nature of bootlegs. So let's look inside. The next thing I want to do is just open this thing up and take a look at all 3 of these different controllers here before we test them out on their respective televisions. Let's open this up. I gotta say, like, the artwork on this bootleg here is hitting me with a little bit of nostalgia. So from what I've learned through my Googling process is that this thing was actually widely distributed across the world, and there was actually a final showdown at the Mall of America leading to one guy being put in prison for 5 years. If I'm incorrect about those facts, let me know down in the comment. It's actually quite funny. I posted a short showing this thing before, and there was so many comments down below about people who knew about these things or saw them. They're still sold at flea markets, I guess, but so many of you guys left down in the comments information about this thing that I was wondering. So I found that to be pretty awesome, and I'm excited to test this thing out myself today. Okay, so on the top left we have the Nintendo 64 controller here. Wow, this thing feels quite robust. I'm going to start with this because my favorite console. Actually is super heavy, but I guess it has to be if it's going to support the games. We have your audio and video out. This is where we plug the gun and joystick, I guess. They're on and off. And we have the DC controller here. That's pretty nutty. I really don't know what that is for. Let me know down in the comments, what is this for? If we don't find out, I don't have the instructions, and I didn't do enough research, I guess. Okay, so we have, next is the light gun, or the zapper, or whatever you're going to call it. This actually feels pretty good in the hands. Really don't like how realistic it looks. But, yeah, YouTube. This is a toy. Lastly, up here in the top right, we have the Sega Genesis controller. This thing also feels a lot better than I expected. When I pick it up, the plastic actually reminds me of Sega Genesis, and the buttons are pretty pleasant to push. We also have that threaded little hole there for joystick attachments. I don't know who used those back in the day, but maybe, I guess, if you're playing flat on the table like this or something. But anyway, this thing also has an off and on switch that doesn't appear to be there, but we'll have to figure this thing out as we go. We also have our AV components, and we do have the Super Joystick menu here, so we'll look at it. The menu, we do have the instruction booklet here. Hopefully we have all the pieces. Let's take a look at the instruction booklet, the instruction pamphlet here. So how to play, we're gonna skip past that. Super interesting. I guess there were cartridges. Maybe I need cartridges and we can't test this thing out after all. Okay, so after reading the menu or the instruction booklet, this thing is the actual console. So the Nintendo 64 controller Super Joy thing is the actual console. We're going to be plugging our gun or joystick number 2 into here. Kind of should have discerned that from the beginning of the video, but I am kind of silly. So let's get this thing plugged in and see if we actually have games or if we're missing the game pack. Okay, so I looked in the back of this thing and it looks like we might have a cartridge of some sort. Let's pop this thing out and see what this is. This is my first time looking at this, and I didn't watch too many, well, actually didn't watch any videos about this thing. I kind of wanted to figure it out myself. So what is this? So this is the battery pack, I guess. It's not a game. We'll have to find out right now. Plug this thing in and see if we can even test it. Yeah, okay, I guess it's slotted. Okay, so now we're over at the testing station. First of all, you're gonna have to excuse the lighting. I kind of struggle with this sort of thing and I'm new, so let's get this thing turned on. First, we'll turn on the beautiful CRT. I'll try to edit out the squealing sound there, but I can only do so much. Got this thing turned on, and it turns out this is why someone went to prison. There are so many copyrighted games here. We have Contra, Aladdin, World of Soccer. You can actually scroll through this list seemingly forever. I'm just going to go to the top here and click up. That's what 76,000 meant on the box. This thing claims to have 76,000 games, but as I scroll through this, a lot of these names are just repeated over and over, and or there's like different versions. If you look at the end of each game, there's like these letters. Leave it down in the comments. Let me know what these letters mean. Are these just regions? No, they're not regions. Are they versions? What do these letters mean? The first thing I want to do is go look for a game I'm familiar with. I scrolled through the list and could not for the life of me find any N64 titles. Maybe that's what the cartridge on the back is for. Let me know if there was N64 games you could buy for this. There's so many people down in the comments that know a lot more about this thing than I do. But yeah, I'm excited to try it. Let's try out Mario. Oops, I'm supposed to press start. Let's try that again. We'll go down here. This thing's a little bit freaky to use. We have a reset button. There's a select to start. We got your C buttons. They're a little bit like... We got the N64 controller here. You can see like... You can just see the weird little differences with the similarities. Maybe that's to avoid getting sued, but they didn't avoid it so well in the end anyway. So we're going to start up Mario Bros here. Try to get the best picture I can on this TV. Let me move the light a bit. It's the best I can do. Okay, so we have Mario. Indeed, Mario. This is the Mario that we are all familiar with. Let's try to get the better focus on this. Yeah, it's actually the Mario Bros game. This is horrible. So yeah, it's actually the Mario Bros game, and it doesn't look much better than you see right here on the actual TV. It's super bright and weird and washed out. Maybe that has something to do with my settings. But yeah, this thing feels super bad. I'm going to go try a different game. Let's go try out a Sega Genesis title if we can find one. Let's hit that reset button. We're going to go over here. Let's plug in our... We are having a little bit of a disaster over here. We'll probably get a better setup for the next time we make a video. That's for sure. So we have our Sega Genesis controller here. This thing, honestly, this thing feels pretty good. Let's plug it in. I'm not going to unravel it fully because I'm going to be throwing it back in the box after this video. That's for sure. Let's move this aside. Let's look for a Sega Genesis title. Let's play... Alright, so this is not working right away. We're going to have to try to figure that out. Maybe it's a start. Let's hit the reset button. Maybe that will switch us over. Maybe we have to pick the game with this controller. Let's try Contra. Okay, so I guess that's all we need to do. This is working now. Sorry that the video isn't better. Let's turn off this light completely. Yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, so this is definitely Contra. This feels a lot better than the N64 controller did. I'm not good at any of these games. Honestly, I don't think I've ever played Contra all the way through, to be honest. But this is definitely why someone went to jail. So leave it down in the comments if you had this thing. I can definitely see why now, more and more. Like with this list of games, if you maybe lived in an area that didn't have access to these consoles, or maybe it was... I don't know, leave it down in the comments why you had this thing, because I find it pretty crazy. Let's try out some Duck Hunt. Hit the reset button here. Every time I hit the reset button, I love how it says fun time. It's super funny to me and kind of fits in with the whole theme of this thing. So I will actually unravel this one just to get us some distance on the Duck Hunt there. Okay, so we got our light gun or our zapper plugged in there. Let's go down and let's try to find Duck Hunt. Let's see how far we have to scroll to find our classic Duck Hunt. Yeah, there's no other way to look through this list other than just scrolling. So that's pretty fun. There we go, Duck Hunt. Let's make sure we hit the right button. Start. And maybe start again. Okay, so we have our zapper here. Let's test it out. Okay, so this actually works probably the best out of anything in this box. Right away, I can tell you that. This feels great. I am super close to the TV, but the responsiveness on this is quite surprising. This might have just made the whole thing worth it, because it's kind of hard to get a good duck hunt experience these days without having the original zapper. But this thing feels super good. It's super clicky. Doesn't feel like a dollar store. Let me try clicking somewhere where the duck isn't and see if I just hit it anyway. Okay, no. This thing actually works. So if you're looking to hit up the Power Player 76,000 version to play some duck hunt, you'll definitely have a decent experience. I'm going to move back a little bit out of camera here and see if this thing still works. Yeah, absolutely it does. So I'm super surprised with this thing. For those Power Player fans down in the comments, let me know. This thing actually works. What other games on the list there should I try out? Let's finish up and see how we do. We got a perfect score, actually. That's awesome. Reset button. Okay, so we just reset the old fun time device here. Let's scroll through the list quickly and see if there's anything else interesting that we should try. So there was Mario Bros at the bottom. Let's try out Super Mario. Let's just try out standard Super Mario. Again, I hit the wrong button, but that's fine. We'll just painfully scroll through the list again. Here we go. And start. You can see why I'd hit that. Like, I'm so used to start being that red button, but anyway, can't complain. Let's test out Mario. This is the ultimate test, I guess. If it doesn't play Mario, it doesn't play nothing. Okay, this feels better. It's something about that Mario Bros game. Maybe it's I don't really know how to. There we go. This is super awkward controls. I don't really understand how I'm playing this. There we go. I guess the A. Okay, so we got two. I just noticed that now. So they're not C buttons. They're actually two A buttons and a B button. I was trying to jump with A and do other things, but yeah, we got two A's and a B. So it's there we go. We'll just play it like normal. I'm gonna get roasted in the comments for getting hit by these Goombas, but I'm playing on the Power Player. Okay. There actually seems to be minimal lag, and if the rest of the game plays like this, then honestly, it's probably a viable option to play Mario too. But I wouldn't recommend it because it is highly illegal to... Well, I guess it's not illegal for the consumer, right? So I guess let me know down in the comments if you still see these things being sold. Someone told me there is a version of this where there's a penguin controller and a lot of other weird stuff. I'm going to blame the input lag on my struggle to get through this level. Let's finish it off. We're close. Nope, we didn't. So yeah, the Super Joy N64 controller. Again, let me know down in the comments. Let me know everything down in the comments because I know nothing about this thing. What is this slot for? Is that how we get access to N64 games? Was putting cartridges in here? Let's head back to the list. Okay. So far, this is definitely one of the craziest bootlegs I've seen. Definitely has the most options. The light gun works pretty awesome. The Sega controller actually feels pretty good too. And this is probably why the FBI, out of all things back in the day, came to look for this. And there was, I guess, some guy got put in prison for 5 years or something like that. This is a big copyright infringement, I guess 76,000 times. Although you can probably already see, like, Toy Story was repeated. It'll just have different letters there. You have to tell me down in the comments what those letters mean. Let's maybe try out one more game. See, there's Duck Hunt again, but with some different letters. There's Milk and Nuts. We got Arabian SLC, Mario Bros. It just keeps repeating these things over and over. And to my a little bit disappointment, like, I did want to test out some N64 games on here. So let me know how I do that, because it seems like it is an option somewhere. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm gonna... Oh, here we go. Let's try out some Pac-Man. We missed it. Did I click Pac-Man or what did I click? Let's go back. Fun time. There we go. So I click on Pac-Man, and this is what I get. Is this some sort of different Pac-Man or something like that I'm not aware of? Maybe that's what a lot of these other games are. Let's go try it. Let's go to the bottom of the list. We'll click out Fun Time. Let's go to the bottom of the list and just click something we have seen. So I know I've seen Toy Story on the list 20 times. Let's start that up and see what it actually is. Oh man, that is not pleasant on the ear. Yeah, so this is definitely not Toy Story. Wow, so maybe there actually is 76,000 games and we just have to go through these one by one and figure out what they are. Let's try a random game. Let's scroll through the list here and try F1 Race. Let's see if we actually get F1 Race. Yeah, so we do get F1 here. Super duper interesting. Yeah, maybe I'll have to do a second video on this Fun Time Super Joy device here. Let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed this or if there's something specifically out of this you want to see me test out. And yeah, until next time, have a good time and keep on hunting.